Hi Wolfpack fans, Marcy Bullock with part 2 of our LinkedIn tutorial. We're now moving into adding media to our experience section. So we've already discussed how to make sure that our artwork at the top represents us. And one thing I want to add is if you have original artwork that you have, let's say, photographed, you can actually sign that, and that shows something very unique about you. We've talked about how important the summary statement is, and we've also talked about how to develop your headliner and summary. Now, look at what Will has done in his featured section here. First of all, he has a branding presentation about himself. So when we go into this, we will actually see a video that describes why he is an excellent candidate for the role. In addition, he has his resume featured on the LinkedIn profile. Now, essentially, your LinkedIn profile is your resume on steroids. You don't have to keep it to one page, but an employer might want to see your one-page version. So it's nice for this PDF to pop up. And notice on this resume that there are information here that you may or may not want to include, such as your phone number. I would probably keep that off if anyone on LinkedIn could find that out, just because I would want to keep that a little bit more confidential. Now, as we move down to our other examples, we're going to move on to Isabel. And we have examples here of her connections. And now we've got her featured section where she has focused on an Instagram example since she's in the public relations industry. She's also written an article, and she also has her branding presentation on her LinkedIn profile. So all of these are examples that we can go to directly if we would like to read or listen to more about that candidate. It's great to have a commercial about yourself on your LinkedIn profile. Now we're moving into the activity section. So we've got the featured section where all of the media can be uploaded, and you can decide what you want to put in your media section. And you also now have the opportunity to have your activity. So Isabel is very active on LinkedIn. She is posting information that she has read about from other people, and that shows that she is staying on top of the news. So with every post that she has, people can see how active she is utilizing this particular social media tool. And after we look at her activity, some of these might be things that, let's say, she has posted up there. Like, for example, she posted her degree. I love that. That's just a quick update. 114 people had viewed that. People had made comments about it. Again, it just shows that she is promoting herself as much as possible utilizing this tool on LinkedIn. So we've got the featured, now we're into the experience section. This is where we can use even a few more bullet points than we might have used in our resume because we were limited to one page. So these are wonderful action phrases that describe what she brings to the next role that she will be hoping to receive. Now, this is a good example of someone that had something lined up when they graduated, and then it was rescinded due to COVID-19. So that is a fine thing to put on your resume. This is a difficult global pandemic, and it shows maybe what you had lined up that you had to switch gears and change. And remember, with each position, you have the opportunity to add this media. These would be work samples. So it might be that you want to actually show evidence that you have the skills that you are claiming on your resume. So moving down to our second example, we've got a description of what this person did and now proof. We need to prove we have these creative skills. We need to prove that we have communication skills. So if we click on this link, then we have the opportunity to see that. And you always want someone to click that see more button so they can learn more about why you are an excellent candidate. We've got all of the positions listed on our experience section. And again, I want to see every one of them. So I'm going to go all the way back to when this person started college. Moving on, we're moving into our education section. In our education section, we're going to list our degrees, our activities in college, and our relevant coursework. So for each of our examples here, we have an opportunity to find out what education this person has after their experience section, what degree are they seeking, and when will they receive that degree. Some people also like to include a volunteer section to show that they are involved in giving back to their community. That's an excellent thing to add to your LinkedIn profile. And as we think about our LinkedIn profiles, we want to make them as strong as possible. So every job is listed with evidence, with these bullet point action phrases, and we can help you to craft this. We can critique your LinkedIn profile in the Career Development Center to give you some input on how you might want to improve it. Now, in this case, I jumped down a little bit quickly. We've got our anything we did to show maybe during the global pandemic that we bettered ourselves. So we might have taken a special LinkedIn learning class, which is found right over here. And I encourage you, since NC State has a purchased agreement with LinkedIn, all of these educational classes are available for you under LinkedIn Learning. Then you can add them on your resume if it's either LinkedIn Learning or if you took another certificate. Skills and endorsements, you can actually go in and rearrange your skills and endorsements when you are in your edit function based on what people have said about you. And then finally, we have our recommendations for part 2 of this webinar. You want to ask people who can say persuasive things to support your candidacy if they will write a 1-paragraph overview of why they would recommend you. So in both of these cases, I'm the first recommender. I am saying my reputation is being put on the line to tell you, I think you should look at this candidate. I am not going to send you a slacker. And everyone wants to think while they're in college, who are my champions? Who are my advocates? And then someone could go back to look directly at my profile and see, well, who is this person that recommend Isabel? Are they reputable? Now, just a quick note, I have used a 1-color background here for my artwork. I used to have some pictures on there, but I decided to focus right on the headshot, which was actually a recommendation I got from LinkedIn expert Lindsay Pollock. I threw in the little stars in here, which I really like. You can just copy and paste those in. And again, since I'm in my profile now, I can go in to make any of my edits here. So this is the section where you will actually be crafting everything. Copy and paste it out of Word just to make sure that you don't have any errors in there because there's no spell check on this. And then you can see who's been viewing your profile, who's been viewing your posts, where you've shown up in searches. And you can also see all of the information with the evidence that supports anything that I might be claiming on my LinkedIn profile. So this is where I would go to the jobs function if I was wanting to make sure that I wanted to be available. I want to say the kinds of jobs that I want to be available for. I can apply for jobs in here. I can look at interview prep in here. All of this is listed under the jobs section. Under my network, I can also see the number of connections I have in here, and I can see if someone has asked to connect with me. Now, this particular person did not do a personalized LinkedIn request. I do know them though, so I'm going to accept them because I recognize them from my class. But normally you would customize your LinkedIn connection. So this is part 2 of your LinkedIn webinar.